Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Didn't really want to do the same old video of what I expect the market to do every Sunday, although it's quite good to be consistent. It becomes repetitive. So I thought today's video, what I'd do, which I think is quite helpful for you guys and also is quite good for me to talk about it as well, is basically my Forex journey and what I've been doing and how I've got to where I am today in learning the market. Basically, to start off with, my name's Sam. If you're new to the channel, which basically everyone is because the channel's quite new, I only started doing YouTube probably about a month ago, just to sort of free up some time as well, and it's meant to be quite enjoyable to do, so that's why I started doing it. I'm 26 years old. I moved to southern Spain in Almeria when I was 19, when my girlfriend fell pregnant with our baby girl. And yeah, I've lived down here now for the last 7 years. A bit tough to start off with, but now it's all going very well. I have my own business that I opened up around 4 years ago in telecommunications, and during the time of starting that business I was also doing learning the foreign exchange market as well. So there was a time in my life where I was doing a bar job, doing my 8 hours at the bar, then going around installing some of our systems. After that, then go home, program more systems, and then start educating again on the foreign exchange market. And I was doing that for quite some time. It was difficult, wasn't getting much sleep, but it was when I went from earning zero money, maybe I think I was earning, one time I was earning about 40 euros a week, and my rent was only 200, but obviously I still couldn't even afford rent because I still had to eat, and we had the baby and so on and so forth. So I pushed through it, and yeah, when I was getting all the income from all these different sources, it felt great, and it motivated me to keep going and keep pushing. And I'm very glad I did it, because now I've got an established company with a location and staffing, and I've got endless amount of time for myself. During the start, obviously the education was very slow. It was very difficult for me to actually get into the rhythm of learning the foreign exchange market, finding out what was right, what was wrong. I didn't really have any information whatsoever. I started out, basically I've seen somebody was advertising a car. It was an Audi R8, so a sports car basically, around £40,000, and I looked at it, and the guy that was actually selling it was younger than me at the time, so I was about probably 22 and he must have been about 20, more or less. So I sort of messaged him. I said, oh, I can't afford the car obviously, but what I wanted to know is what you do and how you can afford the car. He messaged back saying he's a trader. And I said, okay, you know, how do I get into this into this business type of thing? And he said, well, I learned from YouTube, and there's a website called babypips.com, so that's where I first started. Baby Pips is normally where we all start off, basically. I think personally, I don't think I've ever met somebody who hasn't gone on that website. It's extremely well made, and it helped me a lot. So I was smashing out the education on Baby. I was just finishing the course after course after course, trying to push through it, whilst opening my company and working at the bar as well, just to make sure that my bills are still covered, you know. Basically I started out doing that for a pretty long time. The kid that I spoke to originally was helping me out here and there, a bit of dabbling with it, and then he started asking for money and so on, because he wanted, and that's completely fair enough for him. He learned the markets, he started educating before myself, and he just wanted to make it a bit more viable for him to spend time on me. But at the time I was always a bit skeptical. I always thought, trading is just, you know, you've got to go to university, you've got to go to college or whatever else, you've got to go and know somebody in the business and copy whatever they do and so forth. So I was just like everyone else. When I looked at the foreign exchange market, I always thought, no, there's no way to make money in this business whatsoever. But as time went on, you do get slightly addicted to it as you first start out, and I guess some people will find that to be good. Like, I found it to be good, but I know when to stop an addiction. Like, I've never been addicted to alcohol, drugs, smoking, nothing like that, so I've always been able to stop at a certain point if I needed to. If somebody has got a bit of an addiction issue, it might be quite difficult for them to do that though. But basically, when I was learning to trade and so forth, I looked at it as education. Okay, obviously it's education because you're learning a new subject, you're learning a new income source, you're learning a new market and so forth. Like any job, you've got to go in, you get an induction day and you learn what needs to be done before you can just go in and start working. So the way I see it, to make things simpler and easier for you guys to comprehend and understand, is that I didn't finish college, I didn't even go to university, so I saved that 6 years of my life from the education process, and also the amount of money that education would cost me. So to put it straight, it cost me to learn how to trade the foreign exchange market. I blew 6 accounts ranging from 200 euros up to 1,000 euros, so I lost probably about 3.5 grand on trading accounts, and I bought one indicator which was about 200 euros. So it cost me about 3.5 grand, about 3,500 say, more or less, to learn how to trade. That's the way I think of it. I spent 3 years and 3.5 grand on my education, and now I'm making more money than that almost weekly. Okay, so the way you've got to think of it, guys, if you want to actually learn how to trade the foreign exchange market, think of it as a university degree. Okay, you've got to go to university to get a degree to do the job that you want. Exactly the same when you're looking at the foreign exchange market. You've got to learn how to do it. It's going to cost you money to do it because you're going to blow accounts. The first 2 years, in my opinion, is a write-off. You need to understand that, right, I'm going to open up 4 accounts during the first 2 years, 500 each, that's 2 grand, that I need to understand that it's a write-off. I'm not saying you're going to lose it, because that's not always the case, but for your mentality and your mindset, it's better to say, I'm going to lose this money, and so it's easier to actually lose it and accept that it's been lost, because you're going to be learning how to read the markets. You need to teach your eyes what to look out for. You need to know price action patterns, what indicators to use, how to read the market, settlements, how to follow the news, and there's loads and loads of different ways. You also need to understand that you're not always going to win. There isn't a trader in the world that wins every single trade. So you also need to understand that even when you become a professional full-time trader, you're still going to lose money. And I explained this because my brother started trading quite recently, and the first thing he said to me about 2 weeks after learning, after he won about 3 or 4 trades, this is easy. A few months on, he's still at it, and he's getting more losses than wins, because he started to understand that his mind isn't ready yet to accept them losses. He loses, he's chasing them losses, which has given him even more losses. So the hardest thing about trading, in my opinion, is your mindset. Learning how to trade is extremely difficult. Okay, but when your mind is concerned, it's a whole new level. Okay, anyone can learn what pattern to look out for on a market like this. You could say, I'm waiting for a red sell candle to show there's bearish momentum, or that sellers are going to push the markets down, and then it could literally do this. I'm trying to find an example. You could jump in here, for example, on this red candle, and it just goes right against you and you lose the trade. And then you think, right, I need to make that money back, and you chase and chase and chase, and you're repetitive with the way that you're trading. You're going to be keeping on following through with them losses, because you're consistently chasing something that you can never catch, in short. So when trading is concerned, in short, it's going to cost you a few thousand in losses, because there will be time that you lose your trades. If people offer you a signal service, for example, or an education course, that's still going to cost you money, guys. Even if they're going to give you every single trade they take, and you follow every single trade they take, if they're not teaching you the risk management, if they're not teaching you how to use the correct amount of risk to reward, you're going to end up blowing that account anyway. They might just say, right, buy here, sell here, but not telling you how much money you should be risking. And even if they're giving you 70% perfect signals, if you're not doing that risk reward, you're going to end up blowing that account, and that's going to cost you money as well. Education courses are excellent. I'm actually looking into start my own educational course mid-September. I'm going to start taking on around 5 people that I can teach how to trade to begin with and grow from there, mainly just because of the amount of time that I've got free at the moment. And I'm going to try and help them create an income so they'll learn whilst they're learning the markets. And that's basically what I wish I did at some point, but I don't think it was quite as popular as it is now with the education and so on and so forth. Going back to the time of actually learning how to trade, for me, I was quite lucky. As I said, I've got the company that was paying all my bills, and I was ended up with 12-13 hours of free time. I didn't have a job basically because I didn't need it. I was semi-retired in some way, so I would spend all my time on the foreign exchange market. It might take somebody else who's got a job 5 years to learn. It might take you 1 year to learn. It might take you even less, guys. It's so hard to accept. We're not all the same. Nobody's the same. Somebody's got a better mind than others. Some people are more confident than others. Some people are just too emotional to be trading at all, and they don't understand that. So to say I can teach somebody how to trade within a year, it'll just be nothing but lies, because it completely depends on the person themselves. Okay, so when my foreign exchange journey started, I also had the girlfriend. She was very supportive, but during the arguments it would always be dragged up. Everyone always had that thing that they drag up. She's always used to say, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and it used to second guess me at some times. But yeah, I carried on with it because I knew that doing an argument doesn't really count in some way. So I did carry on with trading at this time, even when I was learning, even when I was blowing accounts, I carried on. I did take about 4 months off after my 4th account that I blew. And I thought, right, this isn't for me. I'm missing a secret here that everyone else knows, but I don't. I'm not sure what that secret is, and I need to find somebody to mentor me and everything else, and I just came out of it. I just knew it wasn't right for me at the time. But after that, I got a bit bored because obviously I wasn't really doing anything else here. I was getting quite bored with it all, so I came back to it, and I came back harder, I came back faster, and I learned more in that short period of time than I did over the past 2 years before. So when education and signals, trade idea companies, so on and so forth are concerned, it is a shortcut. There's no questions about it. I know more stuff than I ever need to know. I know stuff that I've never even needed to know, and I've wasted a year of my life learning it, for no reason at all. So when you're looking at education side of it, if you're going to go and say, right, £500, €500, whatever, it can be 300 at some people, 250 on others, that's a really good investment to make, because that's you investing in yourself as a person. You're taking a shortcut on learning how to trade the market. And you not only, although these people charge for it, they're doing it as well out of self-appreciation. That's what I want to do anyway, I think. I want to be able to do it. I'm not going to charge anyone to start off with. Eventually I'm going to want to be charged because it's my time that I'm spending. But start off with, I want to just be able to give somebody else the knowledge that I've actually built up over the years. It's a great feeling to know something that nobody else knows. And so it's great to teach. I'm quite excited about actually starting my own company in this sector, and hopefully I will get it going quite well. And so that will be my future when Forex is concerned. Going back through then, in short, my foreign exchange journey, learning the markets and so forth, it's been emotional. It's an emotional ride, and you all need to understand that it is difficult, okay? It'll be difficult for your mind, it'll be difficult for your health, it'll be difficult for a number of things, but when you finish, when you get the end result, it's an endless amount of income, you know. When people talk about how much money do I need, this is one of the most common questions that I've ever heard. Basically, how much money do I need to start trading? You can start with anything. If you want to, there's brokers that will take €100 deposit, or £100 or $100, wherever you are in the world. If you wanted to put in £100 and you double that £100, why not do 1,000? Go get 1,000, build up your account to 1,000, double that 1,000, and you build it. If you cannot build 100 to 200, you can't build 1 million to 2 million. It really doesn't matter so much about the income. Now, what I do say about trading is that 100 is a bit low. I would say, to start off with, for me personally, I would say about 250 to 300. The main reason for that is that you will hit a period of your time trading in a drawdown. You will get a number of losses. I'm only getting 50-50. I'm only getting 50% correct and 50% wrong. And people are like, well, how does that work out? It works out because I'm using my risk-reward ratio in a way that allows me to do it. I'm not sure if you can see these two trades that I took last week, but if we look here, you can see the red zone is half the size of the green. So I can basically lose 2 trades for 1 win. Okay, and that's how you become a profitable trader, because there will be a time where you get to that drawdown period, and when you do, £100 won't last you a whole amount of time. So I'm actually going to go into the educational process, and I wanted to do a little video about, you know, how is it difficult? And I mean, yes, it is difficult, and I mean, everyone will find it more difficult than others. Some people may find it easy, other people will just give up with it because they can't be bothered, and that's just comes down to the person. I can't say that you can't trade, because I was like that one, that I thought I will never be able to become like this. You watch The Wolf of Wall Street and you think that's the life, and yeah, you could probably build a life like that if you really wanted to, but that's not really the life of what trading is about. Trading is a means to another end. That's the way I see it. I'm building my trading account to buy property to then rent out and create another income. Trading can be stressful, and as I say, when you get your losses, you need to have another income source. So my company here in Spain, my telecommunications business, pays my bills, so I'm not really concerned if I get losses, and that sort of helped me with my mindset and how I've been quite lucky to learn how to trade quicker than most, because the average time to become a consistent profitable trader is around 5 years, in my opinion. Out of everyone that I've spoken to, I would say around 5 years. So I hope today's video has been good for you guys, and I mean, if you do have any questions and you want me to talk to you about it, or you know, if you want to send me a message with any information that you're stuck with, I'm more than happy to help. But really, to start off with, if you want to learn how to trade the markets and create that infinite income source, because there's no ending to how much you can earn on the markets. Once you learn and become a consistent trader, there is no limit to how much you can earn. So if you ever get to that time of becoming a consistent trader, you will be extremely well off. Basically, you will have completed what you've set out to do, but there is, as I say, times where you will end up losing your trades, and that needs to be accepted. Okay, so guys, if that was a good video to do, please let me know. Write me a message, write me a comment, you know, tell me what you think. If you've got any questions you want me to answer, or if you're stuck with anything, you're more than welcome to ask me at any time. As I said, I'm going to start doing my own educational course shortly, and I want to sort of get a few people involved in that, which I think I already got anyway, and I'm going to build up from that, because you do need that extra side business, as it were, just to keep your mind at ease, but keep yourself interactive in the markets as well above. So I'm going to start getting that involved in that now, and that's what I'm working towards. I hope today's video has been helpful for you anyway, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you for watching.